Welcome back to the Personal Injury Law Show, viewers. Just before the break, we were talking about illegal activities on the road, and Don joined us. Kathy, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Don. What a great show. Viewers, good evening.
What do you think of Don? He's doing well, isn't he?
Don is great.
Don is,
Don is good.
Don is good.
No, Don's a pleasure to have on the show and very informative and always brings interesting topics to hand. So,
what do you think of the topic about illegal activities and people trying to claim compensation? It's that raises another...
Well, I kind of think it's karma, Tony, because they shouldn't actually be doing illegal activities and therefore maybe they wouldn't actually be in a position to...
You've obviously got friends, you get into a car, there's 5 of you. One of them that's driving is sensible and all of a sudden tries to show off. You can't control that.
No, you can't.
Why should you be banned from being compensated in those circumstances when you don't want to be there?
Well, look, that is out of your control, clearly. But you just always have to take safety and know who's driving and make sure that they're safe drivers. So I think that's an important lesson.
Things do happen, so you can't always control what goes on.
That's right. But I've got some questions, Tony. It's the mailbag time, so we're going to go into the first question, which is actually, I'm very, very happy to say that we've got Don here to assist us in answering these questions tonight, viewers. This is from Robert, and it states, Dear PI Show, Michael and Robert burgled a house. Michael was driving away from the scene of the crime when he crashed the car. Robert was badly injured and wants to know whether he has a claim for compensation. Now, clearly on topic of tonight's conversation, Tony, does Robert have rights?
The facts of this case vary somewhat importantly from the Miller case. And in this instance, see, where you're trying to get away from the scene of a crime, I don't think he's entitled to compensation because the law, there's a policy argument against compensating people in these circumstances. How do you see it, Don? I mean, that's...
Well, look, I think that's right. In terms of a common law claim in negligence, definitely the defence of illegal activity will be raised and probably be successful, knock them out.
But no fault?
But look, no fault, are potentially entitled to no fault benefits. So we need to know more information as well. Loss of income depending if it's licence or not. But we're talking about Robert or Michael?
We're talking about Robert, who's the passenger.
So Robert injured. So maybe potentially he will have entitlements, also have entitlements to impairment benefit.
Loss of
medical
income?
Expenses. Yep,
medical
and
expenses?
Loss of income, that's right.
And an impairment benefit?
And possibly impairment benefit as well.
Also, he's just topped up what he's missed out on in his birth.
The other thing is definitely in his common law claim, even if they cannot raise, for whatever reason, the illegal activities defence, then definitely there'll be a defence of contributory negligence.
It's not something that the courts encourage. They don't like people being compensated in these circumstances.
That's right.
So he's going to have an uphill battle, but he might have rights, but he will need to get legal advice.
That's right. And look, these are interesting, raise lots of other interesting discussions that we can have on the shows about when common law damages are reduced, for example, contributory negligence, or in cases where they've assumed a risk by getting in a car with illegal drivers and all those things.
These facts, I don't think, would entitle Robert to common law.
I wouldn't think so.
But anyway, there might be more to it.
Well, viewers, well, Robert, hopefully we hope that's answered your question, and I think we've also got a new topic for Don to come back with, so keep watching. We're just going to move on to our second question tonight, and this one I'm going to direct to Don. It's from an anonymous, this is from Christine in Richmond, who says, last year my son was injured when a child threw a peach stone out their car window into his car. It hit his window and caused him to lose control, driving off the road and injuring himself quite badly. What avenues can we pursue? Now, that's a little bit of a different circumstance, Don. What would you say to Christine?
Well, definitely your son has some entitlements to benefits from the TAC, no fault entitlements, medical expenses, wages and impairment benefit. With respect to a common law claim, if his injuries are serious or a serious injury, then he may have a common law claim against, I would suggest, the driver of the vehicle, Tony, who, from which the son threw the stone at.
And is it use of? What is it?
It would be a transport accident, but you will argue that a TAC should indemnify the driver of the vehicle that had the son.
So it's Section 94, but you don't need a serious injury, do you? Under the use of?
Still do.
Do you?
I would think so, because he lost control of his vehicle, I suspect.
Oh, okay.
So still transport accident.
So you're not blaming the person that threw the stone?
You wouldn't, because the person who threw the stone wouldn't have an insurance, Tony.
Okay.
So you argue it was that the driver of the vehicle in which the child was in the car that allowed that activity...
Oversteered, overbalanced?
No, that actually allowed that activity to occur from his vehicle without stopping it. In these cases where we don't know if that car stopped, we don't know if that vehicle's been identified, the other vehicle, what we should do is we should actually seek a lawyer, because you would need to notify the TAC straight away if there's an unidentified
So it's very, very
vehicle.
important that you get legal advice.
I
That's
would
the
think
message.
so. Definitely get legal advice straight away.
That's always a good point, because lawyers need to intervene, but there's also a lot of facts that need to come through that we're not always aware of as well, and they come through being interviewed. So
Well, that's probably a good point, Kathy. We should just let the viewers know that these questions that we generally get are very small, very short form.
they're very
So
vague.
it's important that don't just take our advice. You do need to sit down and get proper advice. Come and see me if you want, but make a call, make an appointment, and we'll get the full details.
And get the advice straight away, I'll suggest, because it's quite important, particularly in these circumstances where you can start investigating, get onto witnesses straight away, whilst it's still fresh in their heads as
That's
well.
very important.
Yeah.
That's also saying that that we were aware of that the child actually threw the peach stone. I mean, you know, the mother or the father might not have been aware of who actually threw it.
I
The child
still
did
think
that.
the best course of action is what Don said, which is through the TAC.
Yeah,
Because at least you've got the insurer with money and, you know.
That's entirely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, well, moving on to our last question for this evening. This is from an anonymous viewer. It's a DPI show. My husband got quite drunk at work at a Christmas party and injured his back falling down some old rickety stairs at the function centre. He is in severe pain and cannot work. Does he have a PI claim? Now, what would you say to our anonymous viewer, Tony? I mean,
Well,
does
let
a
me
Christmas
say-
party
let me say
cover
this.
under work cover?
Yes, to all of this, yes, yes and yes. Yes. it's
Break
work-
it down, Tony,
it's
for the viewers.
work- you are entitled to work safe benefits, lodge a claim, no fault benefits, because it's a work function, or it's within the scope of your work. So you'll get no fault benefits, that is loss of income and medical expenses if you can't work. Rickety stairs, so if you've got a serious injury, you'd probably be able to sue a third party, which is a function centre.
Still
But
need
you'd
to
have to apply for a serious injury certificate first.
Still need to
Against
satisfy
worker.
that. That's right.
Yeah.
And Tony, because it is a Christmas party,
Yep.
what does it come under the work cover scheme? Because it's an authorised...
It's an authorised activity.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think this is one you'd want to get lawyers' advice, because I think there's probably a pretty good claim. There might be some reduction because of the fact that you're intoxicated, or you'd have to look closely at what caused you to fall. Was it the rickety stairs or the fact that you're so blind drunk you can't see where you're going? But these are important issues, and you might have to get witnesses, so get the advice of a lawyer very quick.
Or even photos of the stairs will be very
Everything.
good in
You'd
these
never mention
circumstances.
this, that, yeah.
And obviously raise a work cover claim as well, I think, for the first
Yep,
point
yep.
being, and consult a lawyer. But we hope that that's helped you. Viewers, it's come to that time of the show again. We would like you to keep writing into us at the email address that we have, info@thepishow.com. And obviously, please keep watching our shows at www.thepishow.com. And we look forward to presenting more topics of discussion for you.
That's it.
And
Thanks,
you,
Don, for coming
Thanks
on
for
board.
having me
Thanks,
again.
Kathy. Thanks, viewers. Stay safe. And if you don't hesitate to ring me.